and welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
And I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other stories.
Like fairy tales and folk tales and mythology. And also, Janey sings a song that I hate.
You can hear all about it in the test, okay? It's fine. And also, you are here.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. It's May. How you doing?
May.
It is May.
Okay, well, in a year, it's going to be May again. Janey and I are fighting.
It's going to be May for the next couple weeks. Max and I are fighting. It's a real weird mood over here. She told me she hates my song. You can hear about it in the test. Just know, she's wrong.
Yeah, and I'm a racist and a cultural appropriator.
I'm going to erase everything except for that. It's going to be just that as its own episode.
Great. Perfect.
Max, what's up?
Hey.
If they were like, I want to hear Janey's fun song, how could they reach out?
Go to the test. I do a very, very accurate rendition.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great.
Max, if they want to hang out with us and hear all about our fights right as they're happening, because I complain about Max in the Discord, how could they do that?
Well, you could join the Discord.
You could be
Janey,
on the
how
Discord.
would they do that?
You would pay $3 and you get on the Discord.
To someone. Find a stranger, give him $3, and then welcome to the chaos.
Find a stranger and give him $3 anyway. Really, like, load up on karma.
Yeah, karma farming.
Karma pharma. I explain all of the details at the end of the episode. You know how this works. I do so much heavy lifting for that.
Okay, well, you messed up the intro. And I was stuck out here in the cold looking like an asshole.
If you would like to join the Discord, you can go to the link in our show notes. You can join us in the Team Trolls tier, which is $3, and it gets you access to the Discord. And you can join us for $7 on the Story Babies tier, which will give you access to the Discord plus like 27 bonus episodes.
And a new bonus episode every month.
Yeah, and a backlog to all the other ones, plus our book club episodes. Plus, if we ever want to hang out with you, you get that through like Discord and Patreon access. So
yeah,
it's very fun over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the Discord?
My favorite part of the Discord? Ooh, memes for Angela Carter.
They are few and far between, but they're always good.
Yeah. For one of our book club episodes, we read Angela Carter's short story collection, The Bloody Chamber, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And Angela Carter, as I have said time and time again, was the OG monster fucker.
Yes, indeed.
So the memes for Angela Carter is specifically memes about people falling in love with monsters.
Yeah, it's real good.
It's good. I love it. We get into some niche stuff. I also love The Blood Room.
Which also sounds like an Angela Carter.
Yep. The Blood Room is where we post pictures of our injuries that happen to us in our daily lives. And that's weirdly satisfying for me.
Yeah.
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 Very fun. I agree. Those are good parts. I'm re-listening to some of our bonus episode content just to see if it's bad. So far, not bad.
Hey.
Might even be, dare I say, good.
Hey.
And I just re-listened today to the Angela Carter Bloody Chamber episode. It's fun. That's a fun book. I might go back and reread it one day.
Yep.
Okay,
It's a good book.
Join us, hang out with us, be our friend. All the links are in our show note. And please, after you listen to this episode, or even right now, if you're feeling like, I already know I like this, give us $5.
Give us $5. Give us $5. It's not on Patreon. It's not on our website. But you personally can find a way. I believe in you.
Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and leave a little review. And if it's fun, I'll put it on our stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can find us at Sort of the Story. You can also find us on our website, sortofthestory.com, with all of our other links and socials and information.
All right. With that, it is episode 157.
That's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
It would be like double
What do you guys think of that?
if we were still doing weekly content. And to be honest, I can't imagine doing weekly content anymore.
No. Yeah. Dark
Ooh.
days.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
do you want to tell them?
We haven't talked about the details of it. Do you want to tell them?
I kind of do. Guys, we're taking June off.
Yeah.
We do that every year anyway, but we desperately need a break. So you're going to have 2 episodes in May, and that is all you get. If you're on the Discord and on the Patreon, then you get your bonus episodes as usual and direct access to all of our inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be really bored during that time. Not actually really bored. We're going to be really busy catching up with our lives after they were destroyed by Hurricane Twilight Puppet Musical.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, we won't have the outlet of the podcast to record during that time, so it's going to be really weird over in the Discord. It's going to be great.
That's true. We will still be giving you bonus episodes.
Yes.
Just to be clear. Yeah, so just prepare for that. We're also possibly thinking about maybe taking off July as well. That's the thing we need to discuss. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think we should take off July as well? Should we act like teachers on this podcast?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We
don't know. We're going to discuss that. Okay. With that, Max.
Janey.
Let's jump into the episodes.
Let's hop on in.
Let's fucking hop on in. I have a first grader who... Sorry. Tangent. Before we even get into it. I have a first grader who... during car rider line, he never stays where he needs to. He'll come up with like a sad baby face and just like hug me for a little while. And I'm like, all right, Ian, thank you for the hug. And then he'll slowly walk to a different seat and sit down. And he'll do that like 5 times. And he's the only kid. I can't yell at him because he always looks so sad when he does it. But now I started to be like, Ian, you are popping like popcorn. Can we pick a spot and just stay there? And now all the other kids are like, Miss Wabadoo, Ian's popping like popcorn.
Ian's popping off.
Ian's popping like popcorn. Anyway, let's pop like popcorn, Max.
Hey, let's fucking pop it.
See you in 1 second. Bye. Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey.
Max, okay. The story I'm going to tell you today... Don't look at that picture. You.
Sorry, guys, I fucked up. This is part 1 of my 5-part apology. I looked at something that I saw.
That I was holding
and I'm really sorry.
All right, now that my notes are sufficiently covered, the story I'm going to tell you today is The Forest Bride by Parker Fillmore.
Oh, Parker Fillmore.
Do you know Parker Fillmore?
Filler Parkmore.
Okay, no, then
no,
the
I
answer
do though.
is no.
No, the Shepherd's Nosegay is Parker Fillmore.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, okay, good. Then it's not going to matter that I don't have a ton of research about him.
Yeah, we talked about him, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe.
So this is The Forest Bride. I like it because it has a lot of similarities with another story that I recently told you. So we'll see if you can spot the similarities.
Cool. Love a good Forest Bride.
I took these notes while I had a rare free period in my school because we're testing right now. So
So there's no swears in them?
No, there's a lot of swears in them.
Janey,
I just did this at work, so I didn't have any actual books, so I found this online, and I've linked that into our show notes.
Straight up linking it.
I'm linked in.
And by it, I mean my sources.
All right. The first sentence is, there once was a farmer who had 3 sons. One day, when the boys were grown to manhood, he said to them, my sons, it is high time that you were all married. Tomorrow I wish you to go out in search of brides. And all 3 of his sons kind of looked around for a second and said, where? What do you mean just look for brides?
You want us to go down to the bride store?
Dad, literally they don't grow on trees. What the fuck are you? They're not just wandering around, we'll work for a husband. Maybe they are.
Bleak.
So the father was like, no, listen, I was thinking about that too. So don't worry. I decided the best way for each of you to find a wife would be if you each chop down a tree and then you just go in whatever direction that tree fell. Because, like, you know, trees know best. And his sons were like, that's not a saying. What do you mean trees know best?
But also, that's a trope that I've read in a couple of different stories where it's like, oh, you have, like, the 3 brothers specifically going to find brides and they chop down trees and they follow the direction of the trees.
They just go in those directions. Yeah. And luckily, none of the trees ever fall in the same direction.
What if... No, well, I guess I answered my own question, actually. I got to the end of the sentence in my brain, and I was like, well, that's what would happen then. I was like, what if they chopped down the tree, and then it fell on them and crushed them to death? And I was like, well, then they would be dead.
To death. Then they're going to find that heaven bride.
Hey.
All right. He said, I'm sure that each of you, if you go far enough in that direction, will find a suitable bride. And this was bonkers, but the son all chopped down their trees the very next day. The oldest son's tree fell pointing north, and he was like, score. I actually have a girlfriend that lives in that direction. I chopped down that tree on purpose. Let's go.
So hang on. He had a girlfriend and he was like, where am I going to find a bride?
Yeah. Maybe so that his dad wouldn't know he had a girlfriend.
She deserves better.
The middle son's tree fell pointing south, and he was pretty stoked about this because he often danced with a girl who lived on a farm in that direction, and he was like, score, she will definitely marry me. I barely have to look at all. So then he just, like, walked away. The only one left was the youngest son, and his name was Vico. To his brother's delight, Vico's tree fell pointing straight into the woods. And none of them even considered that the tree was trying to find a wife. That doesn't come up once. There's not even the consideration that the tree is looking. His brothers laughed and teased him. They told him, quote, Vico will have to go courting one of the wolf girls or one of the foxes.
Wouldn't that be terrible for him?
Vico should be so lucky to marry a wolf girl.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a wolf girl?
Also, I do feel like, tangential to your point, if I was a tree and someone asked me,
yeah,
literally,
where can I find a wife?
Yeah, where are all the wives at? Yeah, I would point at a forest. That's where all the wives are at. I'm a tree.
Got wood. That's what I would say if I was a tree all the time. It would be hilarious.
If I was a tree, I would say, bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
And also...
Max is kind of swaying a little bit like a tree that's about to fall, but on the recording, I'm almost positive that's going to sound like a toad.
Well. It was trying to sound like creaking wood.
Yeah. What do you think? Hit us up. Text us with the link in the show notes to tell us.
So hard.
I sound like a tree.
You come here every other week.
Every other
and
week.
I try to give you a good show.
All right. So the older brothers set off happily to ask their dream girls to marry them, and Vico also started to walk off into the forest. He was like, I'm determined to make the most out of this predicament. The tree wouldn't lead me wrong. Why would my dad have a bad idea? This is probably fine. But after walking for a long time, with like no signs of human life, just seeing a bunch of like squirrels and shit, he was like, oh, I'm not as optimistic as I once was. I'm just in the woods. If I find a girl in here, it'll be terrifying.
You know, I would bet would make him feel better if he knew the title of this story.
The Forest Bride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was just asking himself, how can I find a bride in a place where there are no human creatures at all? When he suddenly found himself in front of a little hut.
Ooh.
He pushed the door open and went right in, which is rude. He looked around for a bit and I imagine he called out, hello, any hot singles in my area? My name is Vico and I'm a high value male. Got wood. Anyway, and he got no response. And he's like, wow, there's no one in here.
Looking for the Pam to my gym.
He walks in holding a fish. There's no thoughts about it. Just has fish. Will travel.
Not here to make friends. No uggos.
I don't want your OnlyFans. I don't pay for it.
If you want to know more, just ask.
Add my Snap. Anyway, he found it completely empty, except there's a little mouse sitting on the table.
No!
It was.
You leave that mouse alone, sir!
It was daintily combing its whiskers, oblivious to Vico. And frustrated, Vico said out loud, there's nobody here!
The mouse is like,
well,
it's my house.
Rude.
And I'm here.
Pretty fucking rude.
Sure wish there was nobody here and there wasn't some fucking guy in my house while I'm trying to clean my beautiful ass whiskers. Maybe you can get the fuck out, actually.
At this, the little mouse on the table paused and looked at him reproachfully. And she squeaked, okay, rude. I'm right here.
And this is my house.
This is my house. I wish that there wasn't a guy in it. I'm trying to clean my beautiful ass whiskers, or whatever you said. Right?
Yep.
I think that's your quote.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that you have ass whiskers. Okay. I'm sorry. Not weird. Normal.
Thank you.
If he was surprised that a mouse was suddenly talking to him, Vico got over that really quickly. And he said, you don't count. You're only a mouse. And the mouse replied, you don't count. I'm a cat. Ask literally any cat.
Also, I'm a homeowner.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You still live with your fucking dad, you scrub.
You asked a tree for a girlfriend.
Okay. She was like, so what are you hoping to find when you did this breaking and entering into my home? And he told her that he was hoping to find a sweetheart in the wood, if you will.
Uh-oh.
The mouse asked a few more questions, and Vico told her the whole story about his father's wild plan, about his brothers, and how this tree led him into the forest like a freaking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the 2 older ones are finding sweethearts easily enough, but I don't see how I can off here in the forest, and it will be a shame to have me go home and confess that I alone have failed. And the little mouse cleared her little throat, and she said, Vico, I'm right here. If you want to marry me, just ask. And he shook his head, and he said, but you're a mouse. Who ever heard of a man having a mouse for a sweetheart? And the mouse, who apparently had a huge tolerance for men being super rude to her, same mouse.
No, you don't.
I do.
You do not, nor should you.
Men have been so rude to me, and I have been so nice. I wasn't nice today. Actually, I think I was nice today.
You were
Guys,
nice today.
Today, a man went onto my Hinge, and he told me, I never vote at all, which was his way of saying I didn't vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's not a brag. And he said, oh, I wasn't bragging. I was just trying to get your attention, and it worked. And I said, oh, so you voted. That's a relief. And he said, no, I couldn't vote because I was out of town on a special business. He's just like personal
business?
Yeah.
Like a fucking cop?
Yeah. And he's like, so
he
I
was like, I
vote.
had a personal engagement out of town.
And so I said, I voted when I was in China. You can literally mail in your ballot. And he said, isn't that just for soldiers and I thought that was just for soldiers and COVID. And I was like, so I just copied and pasted the Georgia absentee ballot website. And I just said, for the next election. And then I unmatched with him.
Good.
Yeah. And I think that was nice of me, actually.
That was very nice of you. It was not patient.
Uh-uh. Oh, so you're saying I'm not patient?
No, I'm saying you shouldn't be patient.
That's true. It's really a crapshoot on whether or not I let men be mean to me. It really depends on, I guess, where I'm at in my cycle.
Mm-hmm. And whether they're hot.
It really depends on what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that fucking proudly. If you're ugly, you best watch your mouth.
If you're ugly, you at least have to be tolerable.
If you're ugly, you have to at least be taller than me. The mouse, who apparently had a huge tolerance for men being super rude to her, told him that he could do a lot worse than having a beautiful mouse as a sweetheart. She told him, even if I am only a mouse, I can love you and be true to you. And the story says at this point, quote, she was a dear, dainty little mouse. And as she sat looking up at Vico with her little paws under her chin and her bright little eyes sparkling, Vico liked her more and more. And then she sang him a pretty little song. It was Cheese, Cheese, Cheese by Squeakbrina Carpenter. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Don't do me wrong. I don't remember the lyrics to that song. Don't prove them right.
Yeah.
Anyway, cheese, cheese, cheese.
Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Anyway, he loved that song. He was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
He said, okay, I guess you could be my sweetheart.
Also, by Squeakbrina Carpenter, Does That Me Manchego?
Let that me Manchego. Oh, that's cute. He's like, what's your favorite kind of music? And she's like, trap music.
Oh, no. That's in poor taste.
Well, she's a little fucked up. Right? She's got things. So he said, okay, I guess you could be my sweetheart. And then the story says, quote, at that, the mouse made little squeaks of delight. A boyfriend! Yay! And she promised to be true to him and to wait for however long he needed. So he set off back home.
For what?
I don't know. She's really giving it. She's being too nice to him. So he set off back home, no doubt regretting his decision to propose to a mouse in an abandoned house in the middle of the woods more and more with every step.
Sure.
He's like, uh-oh.
But got a little forest madness going on.
Oh, God. I walked for like an hour without seeing a human woman, and then now I have to fuck a mouse. God damn it.
Vico, you always get yourself into these situations.
You have to stop doing this. When he got home, his older brothers were bragging to their father about how great their sweethearts were. The oldest one said, mine has the rosiest, reddest cheeks you ever saw, Rosacea Queen.
Mm.
The middle one said, and mine has long yellow hair. Looks like spaghetti.
You ever heard of toner?
This is before toner was invented, okay? She's doing her best. And Vico said nothing. They asked him what was wrong, and they laughed at him, saying, has your sweetheart pretty pointed ears and sharp white teeth? Because of the foxes and wolves jokes from earlier. You get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Vico was like, stop laughing. I found a wife, and yes, she does have all those things. He said, I found a wife, no problem. He said, quote, she's a gentle, dainty little thing, gowned in velvet. And he said that because her fur was very soft, like velvet, and he thought that this was a good way to, like, not lie.
Yeah.
The brothers sneered and they were like, okay, you sound like you're describing a princess. Only princesses dress in velvet. And he said, yes, well, she is dressed in velvet like a princess. And when she sits up and sings to me, I'm perfectly happy. And his brothers were like super jealous, obviously. He's like, but you can't meet her. She doesn't live here. A couple of days later, their father came back and he was like, I just want to make sure that your sweethearts can take care of you. So he said, quote, have them each bake me a loaf of bread so that I can see whether they're good housewives. Which is fucking hell.
So this is a trope. This is the frog princess trope. This is the where there are 3 sons.
Yeah.
And they each have to find brides, and then one of them finds like an unusual bride who, like, for whatever reason he is ashamed of.
Yeah.
In the frog princess, it's because she's a frog.
Yeah.
Which is rude of him. And then their father makes these women prove themselves.
Yeah, they have to prove themselves.
Worthy of these raggedy ass men.
Also because, especially back then, men were the ones that were having to do the providing.
Yes.
Women couldn't work. So, like, no, they would be the ones having to prove themselves.
Yes. So it's the farmer and his 3 sons. They don't seem particularly wealthy.
No, they're not.
And they don't have any friends. So.
They didn't, anyway.
Yeah.
They're finding their wives by trees pointing, and they're like, and now do a chore for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is like,
Audacity.
this does feel a little bit like a male fantasy at the time, you know? Because this just would never be a thing.
Yeah.
That being said, it happens a lot. Look at East of the Sun, West of the Moon, when the girl had to, like, wash the wax out of the shirt in order to prove that she was, like, pure of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a trope, but also it's just a trope. Okay, so the oldest brother bragged that his wife would be able to make bread, no problem. And the second one agreed. He's like, my wife's a fucking farmer. My fucking farmers, they love making bread. All right?
So true.
You'll have delicious bread. And Vico said nothing. And they asked him, what about the princess, Vico? Can she bake bread? And he was like, I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, I guess I won't just assume that my partner is going to be willing to complete whatever ridiculous task I come up with.
So he started walking back into the forest towards that little hut in the woods, and he shook his head thinking, there's just no way a mouse is going to be able to bake bread. How will she get it out of the oven? Good Lord.
And that's the only problem.
He pushed the door open and he saw her on the table again, combing her little whiskers. I wonder if the second that she sees him, like, coming up the walk, she, like, jumps on the table and starts, like, combing her whiskers, looking all cute. When he came in, she started dancing around in delight, and she squeaked, I'm so glad to see you. I knew you would come back.
Aw.
But seeing that he was obviously bothered by something, she asked him what was wrong. And he was like, well, there's this bread challenge, and if I don't go back with a loaf of bread, my brothers are going to call me a fucking idiot, and my dad's going to think that I'm really lame. And she's like, okay.
There's an obvious solution to this.
Go buy some bread.
Bake the bread your fucking self.
Bake the bread your fucking self. So he was like, you know, I can't go back without bread, but, like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, you're not going to go home without a loaf of bread. I can bake just fine. And so she rang a small silver bell. And after it says, this story, for some reason, every time it says small silver bell, it also says tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. With, like, no punctuation in there.
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
A small silver bell, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Instantly, they heard hundreds, thousands of teeny tiny, scratchy little footsteps. Hundreds of mice flooded the hut. The little mouse princess sat up very straight and dignified, and she told them, each of you go fetch me a grain of the finest wheat. And the mice all ran off at once, and they came back carrying a grain of the finest wheat they could find. And after that, she had no trouble baking a beautiful loaf of bread. Don't ask any details. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
So, wait, but she is a princess?
At this point, they start calling her Little Princess Mouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And she orders a bunch of other mice around, and she's a princess.
All right.
The next day, all 3 brothers presented their father with the loaves of bread made by their sweethearts. The oldest had a loaf of rye bread, and the farmer said, very good. For hardworking people like us, rye bread is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second son had a loaf made of barley, and the farmer said, barley bread also good. Okay.
Fine.
But when Vico presented his loaf of white bread, oh my God, the father nearly had a fucking heart attack. The splendor, the lavishness. Who was he, the fucking king of Siam? He felt like a princess. Woo, that is some white bread. There's like a whole paragraph about how white this bread is. Obviously, Vico's
That bread's
sweetheart.
so white.
How white is it? Obviously, Vico's sweetheart was loaded because they were eating like royalty. White bread. No toppings. Not toasted, just raw. Raw, next. His brothers asked him, say, Vico, when a princess wants fine white flour, how does she get it? And Vico answered, She rings a little silver bell, and when her servants come in, she tells them to bring her grains of the finest wheat. Which is truthful, and duh.
Yeah.
His brothers were so jealous that they were about to beat him to a bloody pulp, but his father told them not to hate the player, hate the game. Each girl, quote, has baked the loaf she knows how to make, and each in her own way will probably make a good wife, end quote. But he told them he needed one more test of their skills before they could bring them home. He wanted a sample of their weaving. So the older brothers were stoked because they knew for a fact that their brides were skilled weavers. They're like, no problem, these are country girls, they know how to weave. But Vico wasn't so confident in his little mouse fiance.
Sure.
He's like, I've never seen a mouse weave. Don't know if they can do that. But I feel like weaving would be way easier for a mouse than baking. How'd they get it out of the oven?
And no other questions.
How will they operate the KitchenAid? I don't understand. He walked into the forest hut, and just as before, the little mouse started joyously crumping and squeaking up a storm.
I am seeing parallels, yes.
My bonus episode had a little dancing mouse.
Yeah.
A lot like this.
A very similar tiny dancing mouse.
I also found this on accident. I wasn't looking for dancing mice stories.
Sure. Everyone believes you.
Quote, she reached out her little paws in welcome, and then in her excitement, she began dancing about on the table. Vico asked, are you really glad to see me, little mouse? And she answered, indeed I am. Am I not your sweetheart? I've been waiting for you and waiting, just wishing that you would return. And he's like, I was way too long. I'm very sorry about that. He told her that his father wanted her to weave to prove herself, but he understood that she was just a mouse, and literally no one had ever heard of a mouse who could weave, so he's like, I guess we'll think of something else. And she said, tut, tut, of course I can weave. It would be a strange thing if Vico's sweetheart couldn't weave.
Say that 5 times fast.
Vico's sweetheart couldn't weave. E-I-E-I-O. She rang the little silver bell, tinkle, 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 and they heard the thousands of scratchy little feet again. When the mice flooded the room, she ordered each of them to get her a fiber of the finest flax there was. They spun the flax and carded it, and then the mouse wove a beautiful piece of fine linen. It was so sheer and dainty that she was able to fold it and put it in a nutshell. She handed it to Vico and told him that she hoped his father would like it. Vico hid it in his pocket, and he was like, oh, this is actually almost embarrassing how fucking stupid my brothers are gonna look when I show them this fine-ass piece of cloth. Woohoo! The older brother presented a piece of coarse cotton, and the father said, quote, not very fine, but good enough.
Sure.
Damn, papa. The second brother brought a square of cotton and linen mixed, and the father admitted that this was a little better.
Wow.
And then he turned to Vico, who was not holding any cloth. Instead, Vico handed his father a nutshell, at which point his brothers burst out laughing, and they said, Vico's sweetheart gives him a nut when he asks for a sample of her weaving. And sometimes I'd like to argue that's all you want.
Sometimes
you just want that nut. But they stopped laughing quick when their father opened the nutshell and shook out a web of the finest linen he'd ever seen. The farmer asked how the hell his sweetheart had gotten threads for such a fine web, and Vico answered, she rang a little silver bell and ordered her servants to bring in fibers of finest flax. They did so, and after they had spun the flax and carded it, my sweetheart wove the web you see. All true. The farmer gasped, praising her as the most wonderful weaver. He said, the other girls will be all right for farmers' wives, but Vico's sweetheart might be a princess.
So too good for Vico?
Too good for
Vico.
Much too good for Vico. He told his boys that he wanted them to bring their sweethearts home so he could see them with his own eyes. And Vico left saying, she's a good little mouse and I'm very fond of her, but my brothers will certainly laugh when they find she is only a mouse. Well, I don't care if they do laugh. She's been a good little sweetheart to me and I am not going to be ashamed of her.
Good.
Yeah. So he went to the little hut and he told the mouse that he wanted to bring her home to meet his dad. And she was super excited. And she was like, I must go in proper style. So she rang her little bell, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. And a coach.
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle to you as well.
And a tinkle, tinkle, tinkle to you. And a coach made out of a nutshell. She really likes her nutshells. Along with 5 prancing steeds that were 5 black mouse, which is, ooh, pulled up in front of the hut. The little mouse seated herself in the coach, and a coach mouse sat on the box in front of her, and a foot mouse sat on the box behind her. Vico saw this, and he gave her a thumbs up and thought, my brothers are never going to let me live this down.
Okay, but she's got a tiny little carrot.
I know, pulled by 5 steeds. But he walked beside the coach, telling her the whole time, like, don't be scared. Like, I'm going to take really good care of you. My dad's a really kind, gentle man. He's going to love you. He's going to like this whole thing. He's going to be so nice to you. Don't even worry.
He's going to be jazzed for sure.
He's going to think this is very fun. They left the forest and they came to a river that was spanned by a footbridge. And just as Vico and the nut carriage, which is my car's name, reached the middle of the bridge, a man walked onto the bridge from the opposite side. So he's like meeting them kind of. Vico didn't know this man. The man saw the little coach next to Vico and he cried, "Mercy me, what's this?" He saw the coach, the dainty little princess mouse inside, combing her little whiskers, the servants, the foot mouse, the coach mouse, the 5 prancing black steeds, and then he kicked them off the bridge, laughing as he did so because he's a fucking psycho.
What?
Yeah,
Get this man off the streets.
He fucking murders them. Vico screamed.
The end?
Vico screamed, "What have you done? You've drowned my poor little sweetheart." And the man looked at Vico like he was the crazy one and then hurried away. He's like, "Freak."
I can see both perspectives.
I can't. Imagine like you're walking by and you see like, that's kind of the equivalent of seeing like those people that have like the poodles dressed up as like little ballerinas and stuff like that. Like they're like little sideshow pieces and then you just kick it off a bridge.
He's a bad person. But also if the person was like, "My little sweetheart, my goodness."
That's my fiance.
I'd be like, "Yeah, you're a little weird though."
I think I did that mouse a favor. Vico cried as he looked into the water. He said, "You poor little mouse, how sorry I am that you are drowned. You are a faithful, loving sweetheart, and now that you are gone, I know how much I loved you." And as he was speaking, a beautiful golden coach, drawn by 5 glossy horses, went up the far bank of the river, and it kind of caught his eye. And he's like, "I'm just so... I really miss you a whole lot. That's... What's happening over here?" It's like, "I'm mourning over here."
Do you mind?
A coachman in gold lace held the reins, and the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen sat inside the carriage. Quote, "Her skin was as red as a berry, and as white as snow, and her long golden hair gleamed with jewels, and she was dressed in pearly velvet." End quote. She called him over, and she's like, "Do you want to sit with me in this carriage?" And he looked around, and he's like, "Me? Me?" And actually, it's a thing he says. Me twice.
Mm-hmm. I was actually, I just got out of a really serious relationship
I'm
like
not
moments
really
ago.
ready. My wife just died. The woman smiled and said, "You were not ashamed to have me for a sweetheart when I was a mouse. Surely now that I am a princess again, you won't desert me." And Vico gasped and said, "A mouse? Were you the little mouse?" And she nodded and explained to him that she was under an evil enchantment that could only be broken if a man had taken her as a sweetheart, and then another man drowned her.
Oh my god!
She's like, "I'm so lucky both of those things happened." Now that those very specific steps had been taken, the enchantment was broken forever. So the two of them got in the coach and they rode to Vico's father's house. When his father and brothers and their sweethearts saw the princess's coach stop at their door, they all rushed forward. They were like bowing and like gaping at the grand folk, and they're like, "Why are they here? Like, what could they possibly want with us, poor farmers?" And Vico poked his head out and said, "Father, don't you know me?" And his father stopped bowing and stared in shock. And Vico introduced his bride, telling his father that she was a princess and they were going to get married. And his father asked him how he had pulled this off. And he was like, "I followed that tree." And his father said, "Well, well, well, where your tree pointed. I've always heard that that was a good way to find a bride."
No, you didn't!
At this point, his brothers were grumbling about how their stupid trees could have pointed into the forest too, but now they're just stuck with their plain country wenches.
Who deserve better.
Who deserve better. Quote, "But they were wrong. It wasn't because his tree pointed to the forest that Vico got the princess. It was because he was so simple and good that he was kind even to a little mouse." End quote. An amendment. It was because he decided he was okay with fucking a mouse.
Yep.
After they got the farmer's blessing, they rode home to the princess's kingdom, and they were married. And the last line of the story, "And they were happy as they should have been, for they were good and true to each other, and they loved each other dearly." End quote. The end.
What about all the other mice? In the cottage.
They don't have to work under a dictator anymore who forces them to get grain.
Are they still mice?
Yeah.
Were they mice before?
Yeah. I don't know, Max. Maybe a whole city comes up. Anyway, here's the notes. This is a Finnish fairy tale. It was rewritten by Parker Fillmore. It was published in his collection Mighty Mikko, a book of Finnish fairy tales and folktales in 1922. Fillmore was American, but he meticulously collected Slavic folk and fairy tales in order to translate them and then present them to the English-speaking world. So, like, he's the reason why we have so many Slavic folk tales. The illustrations in the book, which I'm going to show you in a second, were done by J. Van Everen, who was also American, which I think is wild. And he was born in 1875, died in 1947. So old. I don't think that any of these names sound like old names. Parker Fillmore is the most modern name I've ever heard. J. J-A-Y. J. Van Everen.
Pretty normal name.
I think that this illustration does not look like an American did it, but...
Oh, this is really beautiful. It's in like a sort of an Art Nouveau style. It looks like a woodcut.
Yeah.
It's like very, very ornate. Yeah. Yeah. It's of the princess in the carriage talking to the man, and then there's a little illustration of all of the mice drawing the carriage that has a mouse in it.
Yeah. There's a couple like little motifs happening in this illustration to show you different parts of the story.
And also a really beautiful piece of bread up in the corner.
I didn't notice that was bread. I was trying to figure out what that was. Yeah, it's bread. Anyway, that is The Forest Bride. Yet another little dancing mouse story.
Wow, Janey. You always tell little dancing mouse stories. It's
about like a little mouse that like dances and twerks and crumps and then turns into a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's 2 in a row.
That's
Go
2
listen
in a
to
row.
the bonus episode.
Spoilers for the bonus episode.
Spoily! Oh, yeah. Listen to that before you listen to this. Cool. I think that I covered it. Do you want to take a little break?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. Bye!
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
The story that I have for you today is from a book that I own.
Oh, fucking brag. Is this because I told you I got mine online?
Yeah. And you should be ashamed. The internet is for sinners. This is a collection called Myths of the World by Padraic Colum. It's a collection of various prominent myths from around the world. I believe, I actually should have looked at this before I started opening my big fat mouth. But originally published in 1930.
Okay.
This book is really cool. It has really cool art. It's very like Art Deco.
It's beautiful. It has 2 naked people, I'm assuming Adam and Eve, because there's a tree behind them, all in green and black. There's a big wing. The lady has a big wing.
Ooh, she got that big wing.
It's a different myth. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Original title, Orpheus.
Mm-hmm. And there are also illustrations throughout for some of the stories, and the illustrations are so cool.
It has the illustrator on the front.
Yes, the illustrator is Boris Artsy-Bashef.
Artsy, but chef.
Artsy, but make it chef. Let me find one that... There's one of Eros and Psyche.
Ugh.
Or I'm just looking for, like, a story that you know. So that you know.
Yeah.
The Jewish post-Christian period, the angels and the creation and fall of man. This is Adam and Eve, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Little block print moment happening here. How beautiful that it is, Adam and Eve. Eve has blush, and she's got, like, big lips, and she looks like she's fucking flirting with that snake. The snake looks like he's holding a little disco ball. Adam's like, oh, God, get away from me. Oh, this is great. These are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Unfortunately, the story that I'm going to tell you doesn't have an illustration in this book, and I also couldn't find a whole lot of very good illustrations for it online, which is crazy, because it should be one of the most beautifully illustrated stories I've ever read.
Hey, that's a call to all of the artists listening.
Hey, what's up? You guys do art about this, please?
Please do art about this.
Do some tist about it.
Art, but make it chef.
Art, but make it chef.
Make some cookies about it. We have a couple of people who decorate cookies.
Oh my God, guys.
So, thank you. And then send them to us so we can have cookies.
And give us $5.
I'm going to cut that.
No, you can't now.
Yeah.
The story that I'm going to tell you is a Chinese story, and it is a very relatively well-known Chinese story. In the 1920s, 4 Chinese myths were set down as the myths of China. They're like national stories.
Okay.
And this is one of them.
Cool.
It is called The Weaver Maiden and the Herdsman.
Okay.
I'm also going to tell you a couple of different versions of this story because I think it's got a couple of different variations, and I think that the differences are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There is a beautiful woman named Jinu. She is a weaver and a servant in the house of the Queen Mother of the West, who is a goddess. And Jinu is also herself, like, and immortal.
Mm-hmm.
In some versions, she's the daughter of the Queen Mother of the West. In some versions, she's just another immortal who works in the castle of the Queen Mother of the West.
God, being immortal, but not like one of the people in charge would be awful.
I think she's considered like a lower, like a demigod kind of thing. Elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
there's a very handsome and a hardworking cowherd named Nulong, which means cowherd.
Yeah.
He was very lonely. He was an orphan. His parents had died when he was very young. He lived with his older brother and his older brother's wife, which sucked because they both treated him like shit, and they treated him like he was a servant and a slave. And they were just bad people, and he didn't like being around them.
Yeah.
One day, Jinu and her 6 sisters go from the kind of heavenly plane, and they come down to Earth to take a bath.
Mm-hmm.
So these 7 like demigod women come down from the heavenly plane, and they find a beautiful little river, and they all take a bath in the river. And the cowherd Nulong comes across them while they are bathing, and he is shocked and confused to see a bunch of naked, beautiful women in the river by his house. He sees a bunch of clothes on the beach, and he kind of picks them up to look at them, not necessarily to be like, I'm going to steal your clothes. And as he does so, all of these women in the river see him, and they...
Pervert!
Yeah. Very quickly, they all grab their clothes back, and the 6 sisters transform into doves and fly back to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
The 7th, though, Jinu, he's holding her dress, which they specifically say is a red dress. And I'm like, all right, girl.
Okay, sexy.
All right. And so she's like, hi, can I get that from you? And he's like, this? And she's like, yeah, that's my dress that you have. And he's like, oh, is this your dress? Is that
Oh
why
my
you're
God.
naked? And
Oh.
she's like, yeah, that's why I'm naked. So can I have it? And he's like, all right, well, you can have it. But, you know, and they like do some weird banter. And somehow by the end of the conversation, she is like in love with him.
Yeah.
They decide that they are going to get married. And rather than ever returning back to heaven, she stays on Earth with the cowherd, and she and him have 2 beautiful babies.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, her absence is not noticed. But finally, the Queen Mother of the West realizes that her servant weaver is gone. No more weaving is coming out of the weaving department.
Yeah, the weaving department.
You know. And she figures out what has happened, that this weaver has escaped to the earth and has tried to hide away with her new husband and her children.
Yeah.
And the Queen Mother of the West sends her troops down to take Jinu and bring her back up to heaven. The day that the Queen Mother notices her absence and sends the troops after her, the cowherd, he's out in the pasture with his cow, and very suddenly his cow dies. And he's like, oh shit. So he goes back home and he talks to his wife, and he says, the strangest thing just happened. I was out in the field and our cow died.
Yeah.
But before he died, he told me to keep his hide and to turn it into a cape. And then if I wear the cape, I can like fly with it.
You know, starting with the fact that it died and not the fact that it was talking to you is wild.
Pretty crazy.
The craziest thing happened to me. There was a rock on the ground, like usually where there's no rocks. Oh, and then the cow died. But it wants me to wear its skin. It told me that in English. And I speak Chinese.
So that was crazy.
It's like, listen, you're doing the wrong order here. Get rid of the rock story. It's not interesting.
Prioritize, for sure. And he says that, you know, the cow told me to take its skin and wear it, and that I would then be able to fly. And the weaver hears this and immediately realizes that this was no ordinary cow that was with them this whole time.
Yeah.
This was actually the golden ox star, who is one of the stars in the heavens, and is this figure that has, like, there are very specific laws about immortals and mortals, specifically that they can't get married.
Oh, no.
And the ox star had in the past protested that and been like, that's not fair or reasonable. There should be options for... Is that your foot? No, that's Francis's foot.
You thought I was just playing footsie with you?
Kind of.
Aw.
So she realizes that the golden ox... Oh, God.
Now I'm playing footsie with her.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm wearing kind of fluffy slippers, so
yeah, they're really unpleasant.
That could have been an animal.
Yep. She realizes that the ox star has come with them to protect them, and that he has like cast himself out of heaven to protect them.
Yeah.
And now has like sacrificed himself so that her husband will be able to fly, but she doesn't know why yet. And then a bunch of heavenly host comes down and kidnaps her.
Oh no.
And she's like, oh my God, don't. And they're like, but we're going to.
Yeah.
And immediately her husband grabs their 2 children and he races after her. And as he does so, he takes, they've already like made the skin into a cloak. He pulls it over himself and he runs after her and he's like, wait. And he races towards her, and eventually like this heavenly host carries her up into the sky, and he is able to fly up and pursue them. But even though he has this magic power, he's still not fast enough. And the stories sometimes say it's like because he was carrying their kids. And I'm like,
drop them.
Don't
kids.
drop them.
Drop him. He should have like flown to the neighbor's house and like dropped him on the roof and then like kept going. You know?
Yeah, just murder them on the neighbor's house.
You don't have to murder them. Just like drop them off. Can you watch them?
Yeah, but then he'd be even further behind.
Well, he could still fly fast.
No. However fast he could fly, he could not fly fast enough to catch up with his wife and her kidnappers. But he gets pretty close enough that the Queen Mother of the West sees him pursuing her troops, and she takes a hairpin out of her hair, and she uses it, and she cuts a slash through the sky that becomes this like river, a river to separate heaven and earth, which we have as like when you look into the sky, the Milky Way is the river of heaven. Specifically, this river separates the Cowherd and the Maiden, so he's not able to get back to her.
Yeah.
As soon as they are separated, they are both miserable. They are begging her to please let them be together again. The weaver is like, please, my babies are down there. Like, please let me go home.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I'll do whatever you want. Just please let me go. All of the other people in heaven also are like, come on, man.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's kind of a shitty move. All of her 6 sisters are like, come on. Like,
but
give
like,
her a break.
Come on. Come on. Come on, Sky Mother.
Come on, Sky Mommy.
No. He's like, also, when this is all done, off with your head.
Just really quickly.
Don't call me Sky Mommy.
All right, Sky Mommy.
Oh my God. It's catching.
And then something very strange happens. All of the magpies in the world fly to where this river separates the heaven and the earth, and they all hold on to each other and create a bridge of their bodies that crosses from the earth to heaven.
Yeah.
There are a couple of different ideas about why this might be. It might be like nature itself was like these people belong together. It might have been one of the gods was like these people belong together.
Yeah.
One of the versions I read also mentioned that it could be that the queen felt bad but couldn't go back on what she had done, so she secretly caused this to happen.
Yeah.
But all of the magpies of the world form a bridge that spans from heaven to earth across the Milky Way River. And then the story goes that once a year, for one day and one night, on the 7th month of the lunar calendar, on the 7th day, these magpies create the bridge, and the 2 lovers are able to meet on the bridge and reunite, be together. And then at the end of that night, they have to split back apart. This story is the inspiration for a festival that is celebrated in China and Japan and Korea. One of the versions of it translates to the Festival of the 7th Evening. Specifically, it is like a women's festival where girls will do weaving competitions, and they will like sort of games of wit, because of this idea that the Sky Weaver outwitted the queen. This is one of those things where it's a very old myth, and so it's like there've definitely been pieces lost that make it so it doesn't make sense, but you can still kind of get the idea. So this is like a figure of wit and skill and like true love. So they'll have these huge weaving competitions, and they'll sacrifice fruits by putting them out overnight, and then if in the morning the fruits have spider webs over them, it's considered like a blessing from this weaver in the sky. And
the spiders are like, and a blessing for us. Delicious.
Part of this story is also that the Weaver Maid is this is a constellation story. So obviously the Milky Way is the river that separates the earth and heaven. The Maid is the star Vega, and the Cowherd is the star Altair. And I have a picture of what that looks like in the sky. So I have a diagram. This is a diagram of those stars. You can see like the Milky Way separating these 2 very bright stars. But you can also see a picture, and honestly, I get it. I would also write a story about this.
I mean, gorgeous. You can very clearly see the 2 stars.
Yeah. You just see like the streak of the Milky Way across the center, and then these 2 like very, very, very bright stars on either side, which is very cool. This is also this 7th month, 7 day is when the festival is celebrated. And it's also said that if there's ever a raven or a magpie that doesn't participate in this festival, that raven or magpie is like dying. Because that's the only reason why they wouldn't, so a lot of the times, like as pets, if they weren't trying to get out, it would be like, ooh, call the vet.
Or they just don't have a concept of what day it is.
Maybe.
So my major, my undergraduate degree was in Chinese, and then I lived in China for 3 years. We did all that stuff. And that story is obviously very popular in China anyway, but it is one of the first stories that I had to translate as part of our like studies and stuff like that was
nice.
The Maiden and the Cowherd. Yeah, and then magpies are all over China. They don't have crows, they have magpies, which look a lot like crows, but they're kind of like black and white. They're kind of like, they look like little cows. They're very cute. And everyone was like, yeah, they're like extremely lucky. Like they helped these lovers, they did all this stuff. And it was like, great. So like there's a very romanticized view of magpies. But one day I was leaving my apartment to go to work, and then I started getting dive bombed by just like a bunch of fucking angry magpies who were just like smacking me in the goddamn head. I was like, what is going on? And I have like a video from like, 2015 of me just like getting fucking attacked by birds. Like, I just want to go to work. Why are the magpies mad at me? And all of these like these men in the little security hut just like laughing at me because they're like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, I don't know. At a certain time I would have been burned as a witch. And it turned out one of the little magpie babies had gone into my bicycle basket, which I don't know how it got in there. But it was just like a little bald horrifying screeching thing that was so mad at me, and they were all screaming at me, and I was like, I need the bicycle. It obviously can't stay here. So I had to like very gently pick up the magpie baby with like a little cloth and like move it, and the whole time I'm just getting fucking attacked. As I like put it in a way where I was like, God, this is the worst place because there's stray cats everywhere. I was like, I just hope that the birds are looking out for their baby. So like, here obviously. It is. They're supposed to be down there. If you see a baby corvid, leave it because it's supposed to be down there. But a man saw me doing it and was like obviously waiting to go pick up that baby bird and take it home. And I was like, yeah. And so I told him in Chinese, I was like, don't touch him. He's fine. These birds will leave their babies out very specifically. So please don't take this bird. I'm just putting it in a safe spot. And he was like, he basically told me to go fuck myself. And I was like, don't pick up this baby bird. It's not for you. It's doing fine, and its family is around, so, like, leave it alone. And he basically told me to go fuck myself again. And I was like, whatever. And so I had to go, because I had to go to work, so I, like, left. But as I was leaving, I looked back, and he was trying to get this baby bird, and he was getting dive bombed, like, twice as hard as I had been getting before. And he was, like, waving these birds off, and I was like, fucking kill him.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Magpies are extremely smart and very cool, but they also hated me that one time.
Yeah.
But that's the association. The whole time that was happening, I couldn't help but think of this story. And I was like, you loved that guy.
What's wrong with me?
Your baby went in my bicycle basket. I didn't do that.
So that's what they're calling it.
Wait, what?
So that's one of the versions of the story. I'm going to tell you another one.
Okay. And
this second version is also Chinese. Like I said, there are versions of the story in China, Japan, and Korea, and they're all very slightly different. And there are different elements. The first one that I told you, I combined the elements of a couple of different stories, just like the details. This one is specifically Chinese, though, and this is actually the version that appears in Myths of the World by Patrick Colum. Jinu is a daughter of the sun, and in this case, the sun is a male god. She is smart and incredibly talented, and she is still the weaver of heaven. But the sun, her father, is worried about her because she spends all of her time weaving. Literally all of her time. And he's like, you're so hardworking and diligent and talented, but you need to get a life.
Oh,
you have to get a life.
Girl has hobbies.
She spends all day and all night at her loom. She's sitting by the river of heaven, just endlessly weaving these like huge webs. It never explains what the webs are for. And it also never explains why heaven needs a weaver, which I think is just a really interesting and weird detail. But it's specifically, they're like, what she does has a purpose and function in keeping heaven the way that it is. And if she stops doing it, heaven will be bad.
Okay, got it. Maybe
but
she's
it doesn't
clouds.
Maybe. It's entirely possible. But the son is worried about his daughter. He's like, she's going to be a spinster.
Hey.
And he decides that it's time for her to get married. And he also decides that he would be fine with it if she wanted to marry the cowherd down on Earth, Nioleng.
Okay.
He is an oxherd. He is hardworking. He is sweet. He is kind. And the son is like, that is the kind of man who can be good for my daughter.
The son was looking down, just developing this big old crush. And he's like, you know what? I got this crazy idea. Is it just me or is he hot? And everyone's like, haha, hot. Yeah, I get it. He's like, haha, but really.
But really, though.
Is it just me?
Is it just me? Or no, he's hot though, right?
He's
like
hot. Guys, you think he's hot too?
The son brings all of his daughter's suitors to heaven and introduces all of them. And he also brings his personal choice, Nioleng. His daughter meets all of these like heavenly courtiers and everything like that. But she's not interested in any of them. She meets Nioleng and immediately falls in love with him. Mm-hmm. The two are married in heaven. And the son is like, great job, me. Mm-hmm. I got my daughter laid. And now she'll stop being so weird about the loom.
You know, I was weird about a lot of things. My parents' solution wasn't find me a boyfriend.
Well, that's on them. The story says, but Jinnu was as immoderate in her play as she was in her industry.
Okay. She played as hard as she worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
So now that she is with her husband, the cowherd, she spends all day playing with him, and all night they dance and make music together.
They fucking.
Yeah. Literally all the time, though. Like, nonstop, and she's not weaving anymore.
Everyone's like, there's a whole lot of thunder happening right now. Oh my god. No rain, though.
Oh, no. So she spends, like, immediately, she is so obsessed with her husband. She does not want to do any weaving anymore. And she spends all of her time with her husband. And she
can just only focus on one thing at a time. Like, she can only like one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because of this, because she's no longer weaving, the world and heaven become unbalanced in some way because that weaving isn't being done. So the son is like, my God, my daughter is too busy boning.
Hire a new weaver. Let her
to
bone.
make any blankets, I guess. And he's like, I've got to do something about this. Like, I know that this was all my idea, but we've got to do something so that so that she goes back to work.
How embarrassing that your dad has to give you a talk after you're married about how much sex you're having.
Awful. So the son decides that he has to do something, and he banishes the herdsman back down to earth, and he sends his daughter back to her loom. They are both devastated, but again, he's not a heartless man, and so he tells them that they can meet for one day and one night every year. Lunar calendar, 7th month, 7th day. Mm-hmm. In this story, it says that specifically at that time, the sun calls all of the magpies of the world to create this bridge that spans from heaven to earth, and that they can meet on the bridge for a day and a night once a year. But it also mentions that everyone is very worried every year leading up to this because the river of heaven that they have to cross is full all the time. So if it were to rain, the river would immediately overflow. Yeah. And the bridge wouldn't work. Okay. So every year on that 7th month, on that 7th day, people pray that there will not be rain. So that the river of heaven doesn't overflow and the magpies can create the bridge to allow the lovers to meet again. Mm-hmm. It's also called the Bridge of Wings sometimes. Okay. I came upon the same thought that you had where I was like, this is just a woman with ADHD.
Yeah, right? Like
she fixates.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is. It's like how like I find a food that I like and that's the only thing I'll eat for the next 6 months.
Yes. It's exactly like that. Yeah. And I just feel like this isn't the way to solve that.
No, just saying you can have it once a year.
No.
I mean, she's gonna be thinking about that thing instead of working.
The whole time. As someone with ADHD, if you tell me that something is going to happen at a specific point in time in the future and it's important, I will not be able to think about anything else until I get to that thing.
Nothing else will happen.
Nothing else will happen. Yeah. I was a little bit hesitant about telling this story because I think it's a weird one. And I think that especially because there are so many versions, it's hard to tell what the story itself is or what the moral is. Yeah. It's more like a collection of motifs, the weaver and the cowherd, and then the the river of heaven and the bridge of magpies. And then this idea of the seventh month, the seventh day.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a bunch of different variations of this story, and I think it's interesting to look at the way that they vary. I think it's interesting that in the depiction where the Queen Mother is like the leader of the gods, specifically she is like spiteful.
Yeah.
And she does not want her daughter or servant or whatever to leave her, and that's why she goes back and gets her, not for anyone's benefit necessarily.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention that it's like, oh, she stopped doing her job and so everything was thrown into imbalance. It was
she
like,
didn't even notice that she was gone for a while.
for at least
A couple years, because she had
Yeah.
enough time to have like 2 babies.
Yeah. Whereas in the case where it's the father, it's specifically like, he's like, wow, my daughter's really boring and needs to get laid. Which is also crazy.
Problematic.
Fucking crazy.
Problematic parents.
Yeah, but this is a really important classic story in Japanese folklore, or in Chinese folklore. And I thought it was really cool. I have a couple of pieces of art from it, but I was shocked to find, because this is such a it's a distinct and visual story.
Yeah. Well, and
was,
also this is the story that they teach Chinese with. And it's very prominent in China. Like little kids learn this story. This is like one of their main myths. Like I've seen a lot of merch kind of around this, around China. So it is surprising that there wouldn't be more art.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, here in the Western world, not a lot of people have heard that story, you know?
Yeah. Which I think is also interesting. But I have a couple of works for you.
Oh, it's the man with his 2 little children. He's on like a cloud and he's reaching up towards his crying wife who's on another cloud. And they're separated by a river. It's all gray. It's beautiful. This looks Japanese.
Yeah, you can scroll that way. Other way.
And then here's another like scroll of these 2 happy little children. They're on a fat ox, and there's a woman on the other side, and the man, separated by a thing. And here's a really ugly dog with a bunch of mushrooms. It says, "Ah, traveler, you must be tired. Come sit."
No, that's a meme. Sorry, that's unrelated. What do you think of that?
I think that's a really ugly dog. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. That dog looks like the little creature from Dark Crystal. Pick or something? Something like that.
I don't think so.
Oh, and I'm out. Got a lot of picture of feet in here.
What? Oh, no. Those are shoes that I'm going to make.
So, I'm going to put those pictures up on our Instagram, including the mushroom dog.
Including the mushroom dog.
Enjoy.
Yeah, but I thought this story was really interesting. There are a bunch of details in it that just like really stuck out to me. I think it's also really interesting, like specifically that the husband is left on Earth with the children, because that I feel like is also rare in folktales, that it's like, yeah, those are your problem.
And that's your problem.
Yeah. So this was kind of a weird story and kind of a short one. So I brought you a second smaller story.
You don't have to. It's the same length as my story.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyways.
And we're also at 116, just so you know.
Okay. I didn't write any notes for it, but I read it. It's in Lafcadio O'Hearn's collection of Japanese folktales.
Wife guy.
Here's the really short version of the story. There's a hunter, and he goes out hunting, and he doesn't catch anything. And then he's on the way home, and he passes this pond, and he sees these 2 ducks sitting in the pond. And he's like, I am really hungry. And it's bad luck to kill ducks, but I am really, really hungry. So he takes his bow and arrow and he shoots one of the ducks and he retrieves it. And the other duck starts screaming. It's like a male and a female duck in this pond. And he kills the male duck.
Yeah.
And this other duck starts screaming and like flies out of the water. And he goes and collects the duck's body and he brings it home and he cooks it for dinner. And he sleeps terribly and he has a nightmare about this woman standing at the head of his bed, just weeping and screaming at him.
Yes.
And she's like, you don't even know what you did, but you've ruined my life. You killed my husband, but you've killed me too. I don't have anything without him.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and is very disturbed. And he's like, that couldn't be true, right? And then he remembers that like at the end of the dream, the duck was like, come down to the pond tomorrow and you'll see. And he's like,
no.
What? So he goes down to the pond and he sees this female duck sitting in the middle of the pond and she watches him walk up and he's like, hi, I'm really sorry for what happened.
Not good enough.
And she looks at him and she takes her beak and she just tears off all of her own skin and dies. What? And then he shaves his head and becomes a monk.
She rips off her own skin?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
that is in fact a story.
Yeah.
What?
That made me laugh so hard.
Is that a Japanese story?
Yes, it is. Hang on, let me get the text so I can read you the last paragraph. This story is called Oshidoro. It is from Lafcadio Hearn. The last couple lines here. So he went to Akanuma, which is the pond, and there, when he came to the riverbank, he saw the female Oshidori swimming alone. It's a kind of fancy duck.
Mm-hmm.
In the same moment, the bird perceived Sonjo, but instead of trying to escape, she swam straight towards him, looking at him all the while in a strange, fixed way. Then, with her beak, she suddenly tore open her own body and died before the hunter's eyes. ... Sonjo shaved his head and became a priest. The end.
Holy fuck.
Wow!
Jesus Christ. She's like, you don't even know what you've done. I'm crazy. I'll haunt you forever. Good for her.
Yeah, I love her.
That's a way to fucking make an exit. And that's how I'll be dying as well.
I also love that I found these two stories today and I was like, oh, birds, romantic, beautiful. Like the lovers separated, pining forever. And then they were like, the birds who are lovers, haunted, beautiful. If you kill one of them, the other one will kill itself in front of you in a horrifying way. And you'll go crazy.
And you'll become a priest. I like, you see him like walk into like the monastery and he's like, hey, and everyone's like, ducks, huh? And he's like, oh, you too? And they're like, all of us. Every single priest of somebody who once saw a duck kill itself in front of them to avenge their lost love.
Ducks.
Fantastic. Good job, Max.
Thank you.
How romantic.
Very romantic. I gotta say, I love magpies, but I feel like if you juxtapose the two stories, I'm more of a duck.
The magpies really don't have a lot to do in the other story except like be a bridge.
Yeah, it's also weird to me that the magpies they're not like, and here's why it's magpies, because usually like that kind of story will have something.
I remember I remember there being more about the magpies. Like, I remember there being, and again, this has been like over a decade, but I remember it being like the magpies specifically were watching them like mourn and they were the ones that were advocating for them. So like it was like an act of rebellion for the magpies. It was like
nice.
We're just going to do this. So I don't remember anybody sending them. I could be wrong. It's been more than a decade, but
there are also so many versions of this
exactly.
story
I could have maybe heard another one. I also think that a lot of the translations that we're getting are westernized a little bit from the Chinese version.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Oh, Neil Long. Okay, Max.
Janey.
Do you want to leave?
Bye, guys.
No, wait. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Like we said, we are definitely going to be taking June off, so you'll get one more episode this month, and then we will be releasing our June bonus episode, but we will not be doing any recordings during that month, and we may make an announcement about possibly taking July off. It depends on how we feel during June. Because, oh boy, we are sleepy and in need of a little bit of a break.
Unfortunately, we are still bound to this mortal coil, so.
I do think that, you know, we talk about this every time, but we need to take these breaks in order to still love doing the podcast, because lately, as much as I love doing the podcast, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want this to feel like a chore, and it rarely feels like a chore to do this. And so I think that once we start kind of feeling like, oh my God, like I'm so tired and this is like work, then it's a good time to take a break.
Yes, because we want to keep doing this for a very, very long time.
Yeah, because we love
so we got to do it sustainably.
Yeah. So if you want to hang out with us, and if you want to listen to bonus episodes, and if you want to just like be a part of our lives, because we would love to have you, please consider joining the Discord and the Patreon. All those links are in our show notes. And go join us on Instagram for pictures. It's at Sort of the Story. We also have a TikTok at Sort of the Story. Sometimes we post stuff there. It's rare, but sometimes we do. Email us at sortofthestory@gmail.com to let us know your thoughts. You can text us at the link below, and please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find us and helps our community grow a little bit more.
Also, tell your friends.
Tell your friends! Why aren't you telling your friends about us? You embarrassed of us? We're so cute.
We're so cute.
Moms love us. Tell your moms. My mom doesn't love us, but
Moms
Max's-
wouldn't be my first target audience.
Max's mom loves us.
She does, but she loves everything because she's a precious, beautiful angel.
She's perfect. Okay. And with that, we are going to head out. Guys, goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey. Tell us about your crimes.
No, check the Discord, because I've listed your crimes in the Discord, and the people,
done?
they hate you.
What have I done? Hang on. What did I do now?
Read it, and then play the video into the microphone so everyone can hear.
Was rude. That was pretty fucking rude.
Yep.
Explain. Explain to the people.
That's not the song you were singing, to be clear. The song you were singing
Well, you have
was
to explain. You have to explain what the what the thing is.
I don't know that I can.
Max attacked me
Uh-huh.
in our own house where we share and raise our babies together. She told me I was singing a beautiful song.
Now that's the sticking point. That's where I would like to make a
from
point.
the other room, Max said, "I hate your song." And I said, "But that's the song of my people. That's my culture." And Max said, "I fucking hate your culture."
None of that is what I said.
"You native trash."
Okay, so the song that Janey was singing was a honking, warbling kind of dirge with no words, where she was just going.
The song of my people.
And it was going on for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long song, right? I want to apologize.
And I said, Janey, I gotta be honest, I don't love the song that you're singing. And she said, wow, it's the song of my people. And I
Yeah.
said, maybe it could be the song that your people used to sing.
Geese, rise up. Fucking get her.
A haunting, just like, it seems like it should be played on like a sousaphone in like the liminal plane or something.
That
It was bad.
Rude.
It's bad. It was a bad song. And I stand by that.
Well, you know what? History will take you down.
Fine.
Oof.
I'll go down being right.
Hey guys, join the Discord. Hey, Max,
What's up?
that's cultural appropriation. What the fuck? You are going down in history as a fucking racist. Against maybe geese. I can do it. It's okay when I do it. It's not okay when you do it.
Right. Sure, of course. Fine for you, but
No, and you sound horrible.
yeah,